Hey guys, Gal with the Comment 23, back again with the next part of my in-depth Blu-ray overview. Now last part we got to the F's, so that's where we'll kick off this part. First up we have Fall of the Essex Boys, another one of those films based on the Rettendon murders. I haven't checked this one out, but it was pretty cheap from Asda I believe, so I'll be watching that soon enough I guess. Next up Fight Club, the 10th anniversary edition. I haven't actually watched this since I watched it on TV kind of a few years ago, so I'm going to have to revisit this on Blu-ray pretty soon. But any film that features meatloaf with tits is always good. Next up, my favourite Nick Love film, Football Factory. It's actually one of my favourite films anyway. It's really kind of... I don't know what it is about it, it's one of those films that if I'm kind of feeling bored I can just pop it in and just kind of forget myself for an hour and a half. And that's always good. Next up, Fortress. This is the US region 3 version now, kind of extras on it. But I remember watching this on TV kind of a few years ago, so I wanted to pick it up, and it was pretty cheap on the AV Forums classified section, so I thought I'd pick it up. Starring Christopher Lambert, kind of a sci-fi thriller, pretty good. Next we have Four Lions, directed by Chris Morris, a kind of satire on kind of suicide, well, the satire on suicide bombers, but about four suicide bombers who decide to blow up the at the London Marathon. Really funny, kind of like farcical comedy, but really well directed by Chris Morris, starring Riz Ahmed, Adil Akhtar, and other people, so I can't exactly remember the names off by heart. Four Lions, very funny film. Another one of the films that I can just kind of pop in any time. And next up, Funny People, directed by Judd Apatow. I think written and directed by Judd Apatow. I haven't think this is. I haven't seen This Is 40, but one of the two Apatow films I haven't actually seen. Obviously, I'm not counting the ones he's produced because there's like 50 of them. But anyway, next up, absolute gangster classic, Goodfellas. Absolute amazing film. This. I'm not quite sure if it is my favourite Scorsese. I think it probably might be. I haven't seen all of his films, but actually I've only seen a few, so that's moot. But anyway, really good gang. Just I think everyone owns this in a collection, so I won't talk too much about it. And next up, Green Mile, starring Tom Hanks, one of the handful of films that Frank Darabont has directed. He's one of those directors where like each film of his is an event. You've had like The Majestic, Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption, what else? The Mist and stuff. And also was showrunner on The Walking Dead for at least I think just the first season, I believe, and also directed the pilot for that. But anyway, really, I do like the Green Mile, but I do prefer Shawshank Redemption by quite a long margin actually. But I still enjoy this one. Again, it's one of those like over 3 hour films, but it's one of those 3 hour films that is paced really well, so it never becomes boring. Next up we have The Grinch, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. This is just a kind of a childhood favourite of mine. I remember watching this at the cinema, and it was also the first time I was aware of kind of the weird the weird way they bring out kind of Christmas DVDs, because this came out in took about a year for it to come out on a DVD. So anyway, next up, Hangover 2, the extended cut. I think the main thing that's extended is the kind of more pictures at the end, but anyway. Classic comedy film, and then they kind of, well, not spoilt it, but Hangover 2 isn't as good, and Hangover 3 we'll not talk about that, but anyway. Hangover extended cut, the original and the best. And then Hangover 2, it's not a bad film by any means, but again, as most people say, it's just like a rehash of the first one, so it's nothing really new. Plus the comedy is not as good, but I still quite enjoy it. It's a decent enough sequel in my opinion. Next up we have Harakiri, Death of a Samurai. I haven't checked this one out yet, but I am aware that it came out as kind of more or less the same time as 13 Assassins, so it kind of fell by the wayside, but it's also directed by Takashi Miike. Again, I kind of started watching this once, but it was kind of like really late at night, so I didn't bother watching it. But anyway, I'll be checking that out soon. So Harakiri, Death of a Samurai, and then we have Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Obviously, the first film isn't available on Blu-ray in the UK, and the US Blu-rays are region locked, so I can't get that. This is the sequel. Again, a decent enough sequel. Not amazing. It was kind of wasn't as good comedy. It was just, I know, it was a bit too. Well, I wouldn't say too serious, but it was a bit. I don't know. It was something about it wasn't quite as good. Next up, Harry Brown, a very good British film starring Michael Caine, about a war is it Marine veteran or war veteran who kind of lives in this kind of rundown council estate in, I think it's London, and his friend gets killed by these youths, and he kind of exacts revenge, and it's really kind of classically filmed and greatly acted, obviously by Michael Caine, one of the greatest actors ever. And then we have Hostel Part 1, the first kind of, I guess, I don't really like using the word torture porn, but kind of the first torture porn film. Well, one of the most mainstream, at least. Really good film though. A lot of kind of sick violence at eyeball. I still can't watch that eyeball bit. It still freaks me out. And then we have Hostel Part 2. Again, not the best sequel, but a pretty good film. Basically, the first film was kind of all males, and then the sequel is all females. And then classic Nick Prost, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost film, Hot Fuzz. I do prefer Shaun of the Dead that a little bit better, and also The World's End. Yeah, The World's End is coming out soon. But I'll be going to basically my local cinema is doing the Three Flavours Cornetto trilogy. They'll be showing Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then The World's End. But anyway, talk about this film, Hot Fuzz. Great kind of, not a spoof, but kind of an homage to classic action films such as Point Break and Bad Boys 2, and just really funny. Obviously, Pegg and Frost work really well together. Next we have The Hunter, directed by Daniel Nettheim, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and starring Willem Dafoe, Francis O'Connor, and Sam Neill. Really got Australian kind of drama film about this guy who is hired by this biomechanical company to track down the last remaining, I think it's kind of snow leopard or something in the Australian outback. Really good visuals, amazing cinematography, great music, great acting, just an all around great film. It's featured in my top 12 of last year. Then we have Import Export, a film by Ulrich Seidel. I watched this on Film 4 kind of a couple of years ago, and I kind of really wanted to get it on Blu-ray, so I got the pretty uncensored cover there. I'll pan down a little bit, but also looking forward to his new film coming out, Paradise something. That looks going to be pretty good. That's Import Export. It's kind of a kind of an expose on kind of illegal immigrants and how they kind of make their living and stuff. But again, really pretty good. It's not going to be for everybody though, but I think I quite enjoy it. In Bruges, where the fuck is Bruges? And yeah, really good to kind of not heist comedy, but kind of hitman comedy. Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell work really well together, and also Ralph Fiennes as well. Really kind of funny villain. There are really good scenes in this. All in all, pretty damn good film. And then we have In-Betweeners movie, one of my favourite comedies of all time. I saw this, was it 3 times in the cinemas, and watched this like 5 times on Blu-ray. And I just really enjoy it. I usually kind of watch the first 3 series and then this afterwards. It's kind of like a marathon kind of thing. Yeah, really funny. But it's basically 4 guys from the In-Betweeners go on holiday in Malaya, and that's all you need to know really, if you can watch the show at least. And you have Inbred. It's a really kind of fan-driven film. There's a lot of kind of, what do you call it, kind of kind of really like fan backing behind this. It's a lot of a kind of it's a cult film. I'll say that's a cult film about these a bunch of young offenders kind of have a team building thing in this this village in I think it's the northeast of England, and they kind of get captured by this kind of cannibal inbred town. And also this was filmed quite near me in Thirsk. I live in York. Kind of Thirsk is just a few miles away, and so that's kind of a pretty cool link. And then we have In the Loop, directed by Armando Iannucci, starring Peter Capaldi, Tom Hollander, Gina McKee, and the late great James Gandolfini. This was on TV kind of last Saturday, I think it was. Really, it's basically a spin-off film of one of my favourite TV shows, The Thick of It. It's the same kind of setup, but some of the characters have changed. Some people play different characters, and some people have kind of different names. But I don't quite know why they did that, but I guess they just didn't want to kind of have it as just a Thick of It film. They wanted to have kind of something a bit different, which they had. If you do watch The Thick of It, you kind of know what the kind of comedy it is. And then we have I Saw the Devil. Haven't checked this one out yet. Directed by Bong Joon-ho. And yes, I haven't checked this out. It's kind of quite high on my to-watch list, but it's just kind of finding kind of the desire to sit down and watch it. I'm not saying that it's not going to be a good film. I just need to kind of find the time, I guess. But very good. Well, from what I can hear, very good kind of serial killer film. And then last one for this part, we have I Spit on Your Grave, the remake. And for some stupid reason, they're making a sequel of this. I'm not sure why. I mean, what is the point in that? Basically, if you've seen the original, The Spit on Your Grave, aka Day of the Woman, and you know the basic plot, so I won't get into it. Quite kind of not stylish, and also those CGI crows suck ass. So that's going to be it for this part. Next part we'll go on to the J's and carry on. So until then, please rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.